तो वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल गाइज़। आप सबका फिर से स्वागत है मेरे चैनल पे। और गाइज़ अभी ये है मेरा दिन का पांचवा वीडियो गाइज़। पांचवा वीडियो है गाइज़ ये। देवासुरुदे माझे मी पण मी पण तुझ्या कृपेचा हात मस्तकी, 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 तव मम चिंता। तो गाइस आज अपन देखने जा रहे हैं मेरे दोस्तों, आज देखने जा रहे गाइस अपन टर्माइट्स एंड डायमंड्स। आज देखने जा रहे हैं टर्माइट्स एंड डायमंड्स। लेट्स गो। कैसे टर्माइट अपने को डायमंड के पास लेकर जा सकते हैं गाइस, आज देखेंगे भाई। टर्माइट लोग डायमंड के पास कैसे लेकर जाएंगे। तो गाइस सबसे पहले ना मैं एक छोटा सा गाना है यार, मैं थोड़ा सा लिरिक्स। तू सुख करता तू दुख हरता, सुख तू सुख करता तू दुख हरता। लिरिक्स थोड़ा सा गाने की कोशिश करूँगा ये गाना। ओके लेट्स गो। तू सुख करता तू दुख हरता, तू सुख करता तू दुख हरता, तूच करता नि करविता, तूच करता नि करविता। मोरया मोरया मंगलमूर्ती मोरया, मोरया मोरया मंगलमूर्ती मोरया। देवासुरुदे माझे मी पण, तुझ्या दर्शने उजळो जीवन, नित्य करावे तुझेच चिंतन, तुझ्या धुळीचे बाळीभूषण, सदैव राहो ओठांवरती, सदैव राहो ओठांवरती, तुझीच रे गुणगाथा। तू सुख करता तू दुख हरता, तूच करता नि करविता, तूच करता नि करविता। मोरया मोरया मंगलमूर्ती मोरया, मोरया मोरया मंगलमूर्ती मोरया, मोरया मोरया मंगलमूर्ती मोरया। लेट्स गो गाइस, अभी वीडियो पे चलते हैं मेरे दोस्तों। पेप्सी वाले तो भाई ऐड तो भाई, पेप्सी वाले तो पीछे नहीं छोड़ रहे भाई। ऐड तो पेप्सी वाले तो दे रहे ऐड मुझे। तो इस वीडियो में गाइस टर्माइट्स अपने को लेकर चलेंगे डायमंड के पास। देखते भाई। फिर से कॉलगेट का भी ऐड आ गया भाई साहब। कॉलगेट वालों सेल नहीं हो रही थी, मुझे ऐड दिखाओगे आप। गजानना गजानना पार्वती नंदन गजानना,
than you'll earn in your entire lifetime.
भाई साहब ये बंदा ने सीधा ढूंढ के निकाला कि भाई टर्माइट लेकर चलते हैं अपने को डायमंड के पास। पर टर्माइट को ऐसा हल्के में मत लेना गाइस, टर्माइट डेंजर होते हैं भाई।
For decades, the world's most elite mining companies have spent billions of dollars to find these deposits, but they're consistently getting beaten by an insect with a tiny brain and no eye.
इतने सारे कंपनियों ने इतना सारा पैसा लगाया गया इस पर, उन लोग ढूंढ नहीं पाए डायमंड कहाँ पर छुपा है, उन लोग ढूंढ नहीं पाए। बट ये जो टाइनी इंसेक्ट है,
To understand how embarrassing this is for human engineering, look at Sierra Leone. A massive mining conglomerate spent $40 million drilling into the ground in Africa. They found absolutely nothing.
इतना खोदने के बाद में भी कुछ नहीं मिला उनको भाई ज़मीन के अंदर।
Let's put that $40 million into perspective.
$40 million भाई, $40 million, $40 million। $1 million मतलब $10 लाख। $10 लाख होता है 10 करोड़ रुपया। 400 करोड़ रुपया खर्च किया लगता है।
When it comes to extracting elite resources, drilling a test hole is the ultimate high-risk gamble. You're throwing millions of dollars literally down a hole, praying that you hit a jackpot. To avoid losing their shirts, these companies use the most sophisticated data models on Earth just to decide where to drill. And yet, most of these $40 million holes hit absolutely nothing. They just bleed out cash again and again. Meanwhile, the termite operates with a $0 budget. It's got no algorithms. And yet, just 2 miles away from that failed $40 million drill site, a local guy noticed a faint glitter around a termite mound. He wasn't a geologist, but what those brainless insects dragged up to the surface was a diamond-bearing pipe so massive that it restructured the entire local economy. And that didn't just happen once. Jwaneng in Botswana is called...
भाई लिख लो पेपर पे भाई, डायमंड ढूंढना है अगर ज़िंदगी में तो टर्माइट का रास्ता पीछे, टर्माइट जहाँ पर जा रहे हैं उनका पीछा करो, शायद आपको एक डायमंड मिल सकता है।
The princess of mines with over 100 million carats of diamonds.
100 million carats of diamond.
The richest deposits ever found on Earth. The initial lead didn't come from satellites or seismic surveys. It came from following the termite hills. That single deposit restructured an entire national economy, all because of an insect that nobody respected. Just think about that for a second. And the places that matter most, the real discoveries, the generational ones, termites have a better hit rate than anything humans have ever invented. These brainless bugs are actually mapping the Earth's multi-billion-dollar secrets. But to understand how they're beating the billionaires, you've got to look inside of their stomachs. For a long time, geologists thought it was just dumb luck. But when scientists finally cracked open the biology of these specific termites, they realized it wasn't luck at all. These insects are essentially biological metal detectors. And
भाई साहब टर्माइट लोग मेटल डिटेक्टर है भाई, टर्माइट लोग मेटल डिटेक्टर है। अच्छा है ज़्यादा लोगों को इंडिया में पता नहीं है चीज़ के बारे में गाइस, अच्छा हुआ सबसे पहले मुझे पता चला है। मैं तो सोच रहा हूँ अभी मैं ही खुद जाके ढूंढ लूँ और 3-4 डायमंड कहीं से निकाल लूँ ज़मीन के अंदर से, और फिर वो डायमंड गाइस मैं किसी को दूंगा नहीं, मेरे पास ही रखूँगा।
understand how, you have to look at the scale of what they're doing. A single termite colony moves enough soil in a year to fill an Olympic swimming pool. But to really grasp the sheer scale,
क्या?
Moves enough soil in a year to fill an Olympic swimming pool. Biological metal detectors. And to understand how, you have to look at the scale of what they're doing. A single termite colony moves enough soil in a year to fill an Olympic swimming pool. But to really grasp the sheer scale of what we're dealing with, you have to look beneath the surface. That towering dirt mound you see above, that's not their house. That's just a ventilation shaft. Beneath it is a mega city. These colonies build vast spiraling
मेगा सिटी, ज़मीन के अंदर मेगा सिटी बना के रखी है उन लोग ने भाई साहब।
highway systems extending up to 150 feet in every direction.
150 feet in every direction भाई साहब।
In order to construct this alien metropolis, they have to move earth, tons of it. But they don't just pick any dirt. They're engineering it with precision. And it all comes down to a freak of nature hidden inside their stomachs. Inside of a termite's abdomen are clusters of specialized cells loaded with magnetite. These cells respond to even the slightest shifts in the Earth's magnetic field. Termites use this to orient their mounds, regulate temperature, and navigate underground. It's a system that evolved over hundreds of millions of years, and today it's refined to a precision that isn't still fully understood. Now here's where it all connects. Kimberlite pipes, the volcanic formations that carry diamonds, are rich in magnetite. The magnetic signature around these pipes is measurably different from the surrounding geology. Now, you and I can't see a magnetic field, but the termites can feel it. The termite's abdomen picks it up like a radio signal. They're not drawn to diamonds, they're drawn to the field distortion that diamonds happen to live inside of. Then there's one structural detail most people completely overlook: termite saliva. Their mounds are cemented with it. It hardens the structure against erosion far more effectively than the surrounding soil. A mound can stand for hundreds of years after the entire colony has died. It marks a location where nothing is alive anymore, but still points to what's beneath. Only 1 in 200 mounds in a prime zone sits above a diamond deposit. Now that sounds just
मतलब 200 में से एक के नीचे मिलने का संभवता है.
encouraging until you compare it to random ground sampling, where termite-identified sites perform 10 times better. In signal-to-noise terms, they're not perfect, but they're dramatically better than anything else available at that scale and cost. For centuries, these dirt neon signs were hidden underneath dense jungle, but as the African landscape opens up, thousands of these ancient mounds are finally being exposed. The termites did the billion-dollar survey centuries ago, and rogue prospectors are already exploiting it. They're not using million-dollar drills. They operate in the shadows using methods
इन लोग इतने पैसे खर्च कर रहे हैं और वो टर्माइट ने पहले कर दिया वो सब काम भाई, ढूंढने ढूंढने का, सब रिसर्च करने का. टर्माइट पहले से रिसर्च करते आ रही ज़मीन के अंदर.
that are almost primitive. They scrape a handful of dense dirt from the base of a massive mound and hold a cheap magnet to it. When the dirt pulls toward the metal, they know that they've hit a magnetite vein. They wash that gravel in a river and hit it with a UV light. Dense dirt from the base of a mound using methods that are almost. They're not using million-dollar drills. They operate in the shadows using methods that are almost primitive. They scrape a handful of dense dirt from the base of a massive mound and hold a cheap magnet to it. When the dirt pulls toward the metal, they know that they've hit a magnetite vein. They wash that gravel in a river and hit it with a UV light. A rough diamond won't sparkle, but under UV it glows a blinding, unnatural blue-white. Local scavengers have known this for years. But here's the part the major mine.
अच्छा, यूवी लाइट के अंदर ब्लू चमकता है.
Local scavengers have known this. UV, it glows a blinding, unnatural blue-white. Local scavengers have known this for years. But here's the part the major mining cartels don't want you to think about. The entire global diamond trade relies on one thing: artificial scarcity. Monopolies only maintain their power and their multi-billion-dollar valuations if they control exactly how many diamonds enter the market. But termites, they don't respect monopolies or the market. By pushing these deep earth minerals to the surface, these insects are essentially creating a public treasure map, threatening to flood the market and collapse the scarcity these cartels rely on. And the corporations know it. This has triggered a quiet, high-stakes arm race. Right now, elite exploration companies aren't just sending geologists into the brush. They're deploying military-grade drones and satellite imaging specifically to map massive networks of termite mounds from the sky. They're hunting for the magnetic signatures of these biological megacities before their competitors or local governments realize what's sitting right beneath their feet. It's a shadow war being fought over dirt and bug saliva. And the craziest part is that the companies executing these drone sweeps are hiding their methods. If Wall Street and rival nations realize that the future of mineral extraction relies on following blind insects, the entire barrier to entry for the mining industry collapses. They're desperately trying to monopolize the bugs before the rest of the world even catches on. Major mining companies are now quietly factoring termite mound mapping into their early stage exploration. By just following the bugs, early stage exploration costs in some regions have dropped by a staggering 70%. One of the oldest, wealthiest industries on the planet completely shifted how it operates because they finally swallowed their pride. And here's the most terrifying part for these companies. The frontier is still wide open. There's drone-mapped mound clusters in northern Canada and unexplored regions of Siberia sitting above formations that have never been drilled. The termites already did the survey. We just haven't dug any holes yet. We spent this entire video chasing diamonds, but the real discovery is simpler than that and harder to shake. The termite was never a villain. We just weren't paying attention the right way. We built cities, developed satellites. Never a villain. We just weren't paying attention the right way. We built cities, developed satellites, engineered billion-dollar machines to read the Earth. And the whole time, something simple with no brain and no agenda was doing it quieter, cheaper, and better. And it leaves you with one question that I genuinely can't stop thinking about. If termites found diamonds, what are the animals we're ignoring right now?
भाई साहब, क्या चीज़ पता चली भाई मुझे। तुम्हारे पहले मैं ही चले जाऊंगा किधर, बट वो टर्माइट यार मारने नहीं है यार मुझे। टर्माइट का पीछे करते करते एक खड्डा करूंगा और खड्डा खोद के देखूंगा वहाँ पे डायमंड है क्या। और मुझे अगर डायमंड मिलता है गाइस तो मैं ज़रूर आपसे शेयर करूंगा उस चीज़ को। सायोनारा।